how would all of these taxes that the government is generating benefit Nigerians?
Yeah, and that's a very vital question you've asked. So if you think about it, two things. First and foremost, some Nigerians are struggling to comply with taxes, right? And when I say struggling to comply with taxes, you look at Nigerians on the streets who are faced with multiple taxation. So this has been addressed, right? To some extent, not totally addressed. The reason I say not totally addressed is because even though at a federal level, these laws can speak to federal taxes, it can't really speak to state taxes and local government taxes because the Constitution empowers those states and local governments to collect their taxes, wheelbarrow taxes, bicycle, radio and television license, right? Those ones are state and local government taxes, though it's been amended, right? It's been amended in the Constitution on that regard. So for the well-known individuals, for the well-known companies, the ones that have been paying taxes over and over and over again are getting tired of paying additional taxes. They are being protected. They now know what they ought to pay, right? And even for those who receive assessment and don't understand it, we've mentioned the tax on boards would help them, okay? Then in terms of revenue, it's now, it's easier to collect money from a larger group than from a smaller group, right? So the burden is now being expanded to a larger community. Remember we said out of the working class of 80 million, is only 10 million that are paying taxes. It's now time to expand it. Then you look at situation where the government is currently in a deficit from the budget, right? Our current budget, we have a deficit of 21 trillion naira. What then happens is that government has to borrow. And once government borrows, government has to do what they call debt servicing, service those debts. And the interesting thing is that those monies being serviced for debt, you expect that those monies would go into more needed infrastructure facilities that will benefit the poor. So we've seen instances in Nigeria, I think back in 2019, 2020, where government was servicing debt and the debt to revenue ratio was around 90%, right? So government was collecting money and servicing debt. That doesn't make sense, right? So it kind of frees up resources for government to invest in things that are more enhancing to the human development, right? So those are other benefits that we can look at, especially considering now that interest rates are high. So from a holistic standpoint, there is one thing for government to collect the taxes. There is another thing for government to now spend it, right? And this is where individuals now need to hold government accountable. I know that the committee that helped with drafting this law, apart from writing these tax laws, they are also working on other laws to speak to how government spends money, right? So that's one whole thing that the people now need to press the government on to give us more information on this. We don't want to see a situation where governments are commissioning airports, commissioning new planes, and the roads to the villages are filled with potholes, right? Or they are non-motorable, right? So this is where we need to now call for government, as you are implementing these tax laws, what are the plans for spending, the quality of spending of the budgets in 2026?
Well, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I have learned a lot, and I'm sure the audience too have also learned a lot from this conversation. We can't thank you enough for all of the insights that you've provided us. We've learned so much about how understanding the tax, how to comply, and how to avoid paying in excess of what you should. And we've also learned how the tax omnibus.
Yes, tax ombuds.
Tax ombuds is also going to help us ensure that if you've been charged and you don't have anybody to help with that assessment, you can also still lean on the government to provide that assistance. So I'm sure everybody has learned a lot, and they'll be visiting all of the sites that you've recommended. So thank you very much for your time with us, Kaide. It's been very, very wonderful for us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.